D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I finished Moon Knight, the latest episode, episode 5. And I have to be honest, what a bore fest. Oh my goodness. What is going on with this show? You know what this show is? It's another WandaVision where it's like you're going in this direction and they get there and it's a big nothing burger because Wanda ended up being like about like they were like trying to do like the 5 stages of grief. And what is going on here with this nonsense? I mean, this episode, like, I'm sorry, but Moon Knight, it's called Moon Knight, and we've seen Moon Knight for what, a total of 5 minutes this whole show? I mean, get out of here with that nonsense. The writing is not very good either. And this episode, I mean, come on. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, it's not good. It's not good. Just chop this up to another bad Marvel show because that's all they know how to do. Sorry, I need a little sip of coffee so I can get pumped. I need to get pumped about this because this episode was like so boring. Like I'm all like, snooze fest for sure. So yeah, I didn't hate. Yeah, I just didn't like it. Like it was just not good. It wasn't good. Like I don't understand what's so hard about writing a good comic book show. Like it doesn't seem that hard to me, but they seem to make it hard. I'm like, man. I mean, this one mostly dealt with his like psyche and crap, and inside the Duat, which is the Egyptian like underworld, which I'll get into a little bit when I talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, in fact, yeah, I'll just get to it right now. So let's get this baby started. But before I get started, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm. Small channels like mine, we always get shoved to the back of the line, or at least until Elon Musk buys YouTube. Anyways, I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. Oh goodness. So all right. So this episode starts off with a memory, and it starts off with this like cave, and you see this water flow and everything. You hear, help me, and voices and everything, and then you see this woman. She's like, "It's all your fault," and I'm like, "Who's this biatch?" And then we see the hippo. This is hold on, I'm Taret. That's how you say her name, I think. Anyways, and like I said on my last episode, she is the goddess. She is the protective goddess of mothers and child during pregnancy and childbirth, and she's also the goddess of rebirth and everything. So they're screaming, and then he snaps out of it. Now I think this right here might be the third personality, which is Jake Lockley. I think this might be him right here, but I don't know, because he's all like, where am I and everything. I do like that he says, "Oh, excuse me." He calls him Ned Flanders from The Simpsons. I was like, that's so funny because he does kind of look like Ned Flanders. I was like, that's good. Look, there's a positive, okay? Just in case you guys like forget. There are some positives. I have some positives about this episode, but like it's not enough to save it. It's not enough to save it. So he's sitting here, and I can't remember what he's talking about here. How he's in Chicago. And he put himself in here, kind of thing. But long story short, he grabs this thing and he starts like getting crazy, and they come in and then they stab him with this juice, and then he's all back here. And then we get Taret, and she explains that they are in the Duat. Now, what is the Duat? Now, real quick, I just want to say, so the Duat right here, okay, so this is basically the underworld of the Egyptian mythology. And basically the Duat is you travel through until you get to the land of the reeds or whatever. Here I have a better picture like this, like a fan art thing. So basically you're traveling on a boat, and now they are traveling on sand, which we'll see in a minute. But the Duat is it's mostly just a river. It's drawn as a river and everything, and there's like lakes, the rivers of fire and stuff like that. And basically, and there's 8 gates. but you usually only get to the 6th gate. Most people only get to the 6th gate, which is the Gate of Osiris, which they talk about in this episode. And the Gate of Osiris is where they do that pendulum thing. I don't understand. Not pendulum, the weighing of the heart thing. They usually do that there. They do it on the boat here, which we'll talk about again in just a second, but they usually do that at the 6th gate with the Osiris gate, and Osiris is there and all that stuff. So this whole thing of them talking about it here and everything, I don't know how true that is, but I just know there's 8 gates and most people just get to the 6th gate, and then that's when they're judged. And if you're not, if you're not weighed out right, your heart is heavier than the feather or whatever, then you get dropped. And Emmett, that goddess that Ethan Hawke's character is in love with, she devours you. I've said this before and I didn't look it up, and I probably should have, but I always thought that if you failed the trial, before you went to the second death, the final death, you actually got to defend yourself. So I'm not quite sure if that's, real. I should have looked it up before I did this episode. So these two are trying to sit here, and this is where she's explaining that they're in the Duat, the underworld and everything. And they have to weigh their hearts and balance them out. If they're not balanced, then, he doesn't believe him. Sorry. He doesn't believe him. And then he goes outside and he's on this boat. And this was kind of a cool, I thought this was a cool visual. I just want to say, I called it that they were on a boat. I called it. I just want to say that my last episode, but, so they're on this boat and they're sitting here and, they go, and she just explains, she reaches into their heart and she's like, oh, that worked. I thought I would just explode your chest. That was funny. That made me go, huh? That was funny. And then she weighs their hearts, but it's with a feather and it's not balancing out. So she's like, listen, if it's not balanced by the time we reach, the land of the reeds, I can't remember what they called it. It's like, in Greek mythology, it's like heaven, basically, which we see it later on, but it just looks like a field, a field of reeds. So they see this and they're like, if it doesn't balance out by the time we get there, guys, the souls that are unbalanced and they're in these sands, they're going to come up and they're going to take you away, and you're just going to be turned into sandy sand like them. So she's like, well, there is a way to balance it out. You go back into the boat, go through your memories and figure out what it is you need to do to balance it out. So they go back in here and they're looking through all their memories. They see the memory of him in the first episode where he's beating up that jackal. They see, I don't remember what that memory was, them switching back the sky and everything. Super fun. And he's like, well, it's this memory. And he's all like, you don't need to worry about it. It's just a street. It's just a street memory. And I'm like, no, it's not just a street memory. Steven, don't be Steven with a V. Don't be stupid. If they show it, it means something. Okay. Come on, Steven with a V. Use your head. So they go into this one and there's a bunch of dead bodies around, but the weight is here. And these are all, and they're sitting in a cafe. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. And these are all dead people, but they're people that Marc killed as a mercenary or as a Moon Knight. And he's all like, listen, Khonshu, which in Egyptian it's actually Khonshu. I don't know why they added an H to Khonshu. I mean, it sounds cool, but Khonshu sounds cool too. Maybe Khonshu sounds better. Sorry, I have something in my eye now, like a loose eyelash. I'm gonna just blink the whole time. Anyways. So they're sitting here and he's all like, who's that? And it's a little boy. He's all, and at first I thought that they were trying to say he killed this little boy. I don't think it's that. I think it just, because he follows him. I think it was just, this was supposed to bring him into this memory. And Steven locks the door because Marc is being very secretive. And he turns around and he sees his family. And this is his mom and his dad, and that's his little brother. And he's like, you want to go to the cave? And he's like, yeah, and everything. And so so he's watching, and they're walking to the cave, and they're pretending to be the explorer from the movie from the last episode. I can't remember what it was called. It doesn't even matter. And it starts raining. He's all like, Mom said not to go in when it rains. He's like, don't be a baby and everything. And they go in and we see these rocks. And this is what we saw from the beginning. So they go in and it's very obvious that it's filling up with water and the little brother drowns. So then we go to this. This is okay. So this is in Judaism, this is called sitting Shiva. And basically what it is, I mean, they didn't light a candle, but basically what it is just people can come in and out and everything. And so they sit Shiva with you. They basically just mourn with you. And so obviously their mother is sitting Shiva and the dad's there and he comes in and everything. And Steven's watching. And then she looks up and she sees her son, which is Marc. She's like, what are you doing here? This is all your fault. And I'm all like, whoa, sister, calm down. He's a child. Like, I get it. He made a bad decision, but that's children. That's their job to make bad decisions. Now, granted, it did get his brother killed. That's not his fault. Then you're being not a very nice mother or a good mother by blaming him for it. I get it. You're grieving. I get it. But, so then he flash forward to a birthday and he's like, your mom's not feeling good. She and everything. He's like, yeah, she ain't. Mm-hmm. And then they skip forward again. He's like, birthday boy. And then the mom comes, sits down and she's like giving the kid crap. But she's obviously become an alcoholic, which I can get that too. I mean, you just want to numb the pain. I get it. But she still blames him because she gives him crap right here too. And so he runs off and everything. He goes into his room. He's like, you don't want to see what goes on in there. So he pulls him out and then they're on the street and he sees him as a teenager, it looks like. And he's like, yo, listen, your mom is sick. And he's like, when are you going to get her help and everything? And then we wake up on the sand. We go to another memory. They're just bouncing from memory to memory, which is fine. But it's at the same time, I just go, okay. It's like a long road to get there to the memory. So this is when we get to the memory of when he killed Layla's father. That's Layla's father. And he talks about, what's the guy's name? Bushman. The guy that shot him, that betrayed him. So it talks about how he killed everybody and then shot him. And then he's like, well, where are you at? And he's like, he points to this big temple-y thing. And then he sees the tracks and he sees him inside this temple of Khonshu, it looks like, but there's this big statue and Khonshu's sitting there and he's all like, and he's gonna kill. So he pulls out a gun, he's going to end himself. And Khonshu's all like, interesting. How about this? How about you become my avatar and you exact punishment on those who have done wrong and I'll save you. And Steven's all like, he's taking advantage of you. And I'm all like, Steven with a V. I don't think this is why Steven is annoying. I can't stand Steven, I'm happy. I was happy what happened at the end. But Steven's all like, he's taking advantage of you. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's saying, I will save you. But if I do that, you have to do something for me. Quid pro quo. That's how deals work. If you don't like it, Steven, you should have just died. But that wasn't your choice. That was Marc's choice. So he took the deal and then he becomes Moon Knight and he's all like, he's like, become my Moon Knight and cool and everything. But then we get a little shake in the boat and they're like, what's going on? And she's all like, she's like, something's happening. Souls are dying before their time. And you can just see all these souls just like plummeting to the sands and stuff. And I'm all like, they don't even get a boat. Why don't they get a boat? And so obviously Ethan Hawke is just running amok on Earth. Amok. Anyways, and I'm telling you right now, we better see Ammit in full form, in full alligator, lion, hippo form. Because if we don't, I'm gonna be annoyed. If we just see Ethan Hawke and he glows purple and stuff, that's probably what they're gonna do. I'm gonna be a little annoyed because it's gonna be so stupid. So he's all like, hey, listen, you bring us back to life And if we can go back to Earth, we can stop him. And she's all like, well, you kind of have 2 bullet holes in you, dude. You guys died. And he's all like, listen, can we send it? We need to send a message back to Layla and tell her to get the Khonshu, to free Khonshu. And then we can come back to life. And she's all like, all right, hold on to your britches. And she changes course. She's like, we're going to the Gate of Osiris, which again, I could have swore, again, I'll say it again, in the Duat, there is 8 gates. The 6th gate is the Gate of Osiris, and that gate is the one where you are judged. But I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that because I don't feel like dealing with it. So then they are all like, we got to go through this. So then he wakes up because he's all like, I'm not, like we saw in the trailer. He's all beating himself up. And he wakes up and he's all like, it's Steven. He's like, Steven, it's so good to see you again. And they're sitting there talking and I can't remember exactly everything he says, but he says something about his mother being dead and how she had ended herself. And he's like, what? Oh, no, that's not what he says first. So first we go back to here where we see him in his room, this little memory. And we find out that because he does the little thing and he becomes Steven when he's younger. So he created Steven. So Steven realizes he's not real. He's not the real person. It's Marc. Marc's the real person. And his mother comes in because she's beating down the door and she beats him with a belt. I just want to say right now, me personally, as a parent, I am not a corporal punishment kind of parent. I know I have some people in my life that are they don't agree with that. They're all about the spankings. Me personally, I'm not about that. I honestly believe that spanking is only done when people are angry. And I usually, when I punish my children because I'm angry at them, it's time out because I don't physically hurt them and they get punished for their bad doings. And sometimes I'm angry about it. So I'm all like, you need to sit down and time out. And they're like, no. And I'm all like, no, you need to do it. Or you get an extra minute if you don't, every time you tell me no. Anyways, sorry, I'm not trying to bring you in, but I'm all about the timeouts, not about the corporal punishment. But she goes straight in for the beatings for sure. She's all like, I told you not to eat candy and stuff. And you're all like, calm down. It's his job to want candy. So you killed your brother. And I'm all like, this is bad parenting 101. So then he's all like, he freaks out and he's all like, your mother died, is dead. And he's all like, you're lying. I talk to her all the time. I talk to my mother all the time. And he's all like, I'll call her right now. We have her on file. And then he goes, he's like, Steven would like to talk to you. And he hands him the phone and he hands it to him, but he's looking at it and he's just like, my mother's dead. She's dead. Then we go back to the memory of Steven on the street and he's drinking and his dad sees him and he's like, he motions for him to come in. And he's all like, no. And he just walks off and he takes off his yarmulke and he just starts beating it on the ground and beating himself, and then he does his thing and then he becomes Steven. He's like, hey, Mom. Here, hold on. He's like, hey, Mom, I got lost again. No, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm a silly goose. Yeah, listen, I know you're busy, but when you get a chance, call me back and I'll talk to you later. All right, yo, cheerio, and good day, chap. Bye. Okay. But I know that was a lot for that. I'm silly. So they get to the Gate of Osiris and it looks pretty cool. The thing is, my whole thing about this is they don't do enough of this Egyptian stuff or the Moon Knight stuff. Sorry, my neighbor was looking at me. She's not looking at me anymore. Anyways, they don't do enough of the Moon Knight stuff or this Egyptian stuff. And I'm more interested in that than the I'm crazy stuff, but whatever. Like I said, I think this is very much like WandaVision, in the sense that that show, hold on, let me pull up this picture. That show, WandaVision wasn't about superheroes and it wasn't about powers. It was about the grief. And the thing is that this show is not about superpowers and cool Egyptian mythology. It's about mental health and mental awareness, even though they're not doing a good job with that either. So anyway, so she's all like, listen, we're here. You guys aren't balanced. You're close. You're like, and everything, but you aren't balanced. So sorry. And so all the little demons come up from the sand and they're going to pull him into the thing. So he's punching them, but it doesn't work. And they're about to pull Steven into the sand. And then, or Marc. And then Steven comes in. He just starts battling. He beats him to a pulp. But then one of them grabs Marc over the edge. He's like, no. And he grabs him, but then he pulls him over and he lands in the sand. So the boat's going away. He's like, Steven, run. Come on, you can make it. And he's like, Marc, and everything. And then he starts to turn and he turns into sand. I'm not going to lie. When this happened, I was like, yes, finally, Steven is gone. He's annoying. I don't like him. And he's like, Steven, and everything. Very cool. And then it balanced out. I was like, oh, you just needed to get rid of, the weak sauce in your life. Just get rid of that nonsense and you're good to go, dude. Look, you're all set. You got 2 hearts now too. Perfect. So then she says it's balanced and he can now enter the reed land, the grasslands, land of the reeds, Elysium, whatever Elysium is called for the Egyptian mythology. I can't remember. And that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like that all that great to me, but whatever. What do I know? And that's where it ends. He's in heaven. And I go, I'm not in heaven, but I wish this show was. And by that, I mean like gone forever, because I've had enough. And we only got one more. And I listen, if this was like the 5th episode and this was like a 10 episode season, or maybe even 8, I'd be out by now. I'd be like, you know what? Never mind. These don't usually get an overwhelming amount of views. So I'll just skip. I don't need the content that bad. But we only got one episode left. So I'm all like, I have no faith that they're going to pull it out. None whatsoever. So I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I don't need them to pull it out. I honestly don't care anymore. This show is not good. I don't think it deserves a season 2. It's a limited series. That's what they said it was. But I have a feeling that if it does really well, they could entice Oscar Isaacs to come back and do another season. I'm pretty sure they could do that. But I hope they don't, because this show is just no good, you guys. It's boring. It's boring as all get out. I'm trying to enjoy it, but it's just not working for me. This show wasn't made for me, and I don't understand how it was made for anybody, because I don't know what to say about it besides that. All right, you guys, that is my breakdown and review of this episode of Moon Knight. You guys join me next week for the season finale, series finale, or whatever. I think it comes out isn't Doctor Strange next week also? That's insane that they would do both. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I have to look now. I'm not going to look while I'm talking to you guys. But anyways, tell me what you think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my Moon Knight breakdown and review next week. You guys have a good week. Bye.